My name's John Standridge, and I'm with the Violence Neighborhood Association. And there's 4 neighborhood associations that are putting this program on, and representatives from all did the work of organizing and getting everybody together here tonight. So I want to thank all of the folks who worked on the committee, and thank the candidates for coming tonight and making time in their schedule to do this. And also, Mariner Hospital provides this room for us for no charge.
We have two excellent and experienced candidates. Both have had mayor in front of their name before, and tonight they are going to be open to your questions regarding your concerns for your neighborhoods and also for your city. We have not taken any questions in advance, so we'll be as delighted and surprised as the candidates to see what you have to ask. Okay, and then I'm going to ask Paul to begin with his 5 minutes of introductory comments, followed by Dave. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all for being here tonight, because elections are about the future. They're about the future of our community and what we are going to do in times that were actually very complicated before 3.5 weeks ago, and have been made far more complicated and difficult since that time. During the years that I've served as mayor of Madison, I've had an opportunity to work with many of you, and I think we've come to realize that a community is built around the people who work, play, and otherwise do a whole lot of wonderful things in Madison. Over the years, what we've seen is that it is not a simple process to make our government work, and I don't think that should be our desire. When you look at the city and its various neighborhoods, which are the building blocks of our community, those neighborhoods, those building blocks are really critical to our vitality. I can recall, for example, when the Madison School District wanted to close both Marquette as well as Lapham School. We persuaded them not to close Marquette. When it came time to selling Lapham School, what we ended up doing was using it for nonprofits. We worked to build the neighborhood. We worked to get families back into the neighborhood. And lo and behold, one day the school reopened, which only strengthened the neighborhood further. What it's about is the city, the county, and the school district working together with the state, working with the nonprofits in a couple of very critical areas. Those critical areas are housing, transportation, quality child care, health care, and above all, job training and education. And in this modern day, I'd probably throw financial literacy in there as well. It's taking all of our resources and gearing them in a direction that builds sustainable neighborhoods. But when we've seen in the last few years the number of children in households that are below the poverty line rising from 32 to almost 49%, we know we have a very difficult challenge. That's our mission, though, is to create independent, sustainable families. Families where those kids have an opportunity to learn. And let me mention something about the schools. And I've said this for a long, long time. There is nothing in terms of the quality of a city that a mayor can do, that a city government can do, that is important as what the school district does. And that's why that partnership is so critical to our community. Over this last couple of months, and it's only been a few months since I announced that I was going to run for mayor, I've seen supporters who have come from community activists to real estate developers, people who are deeply concerned about the city budget and taxation, as well as public employees. They all have one thing in common, maybe two, maybe a lot more, but a couple that are really critical. And those are developing trust, and that is the key element in any organization. And the second is fairness. What they want in development processes is a thriving and prosperous community. They want fairness, and they want to know that they're taken seriously. Oftentimes during the course of the campaign, we've been asked about the Edgewater, and there's so many details about it. The design, the cost of the TIF. But underlying all of that is the process, and that gets to the role of the mayor. The role of the mayor is to help in terms of crafting a vision, objectives, and then working to bring that team, which is the people of the community, together to achieve our common identifiable goals. It seems to me that that's the critical element that we need to discuss in the coming hour and a half, in the coming weeks, and it's one in which all of you must not only be engaged between now and April 5th, Election Day, but one we all have to continue to be engaged for every day after that as we make Madison the kind of community we can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, good evening. It is good to be here, and I want to thank all the neighborhood associations for coming together and hosting this event. I noticed in my RNA newsletter that Joanne Kloppenberg is the president-elect of the RNA, and I hope she gets elected to something else this fall and doesn't have the opportunity to serve in that capacity. I often like to start out these discussions with by describing what I've done in the last few days, because I think it's illustrative of what this job is about. So let me do that a little bit. Last Thursday in the afternoon, I read to fifth graders at Randall Elementary School. There was a fifth grader, Nina Cicero Solis, and Nina was Student of the Week. And it turns out when you're Student of the Week at Randall School, you get to select anyone you want to come speak and read at your school. Nina could not come up with anybody better, so she chose me. Friday, so Thursday afternoon, I'm talking to Nina's class. We got a call from Jesse Jackson's office. The Reverend had been in town a couple weeks ago, and I went to see him just to pay my respects. And I said, sort of off the cuff, Reverend, when you're back in town, please come see me. They called on Thursday afternoon. Reverend would like to stop by. I said, sure. Reverend Jackson stopped by in the afternoon. I got half an hour to speak to him one-on-one. Then we organized a small group of union leaders and other community leaders, some of your elders. Shiva Vidar Salaf was there, and Lauren Kinnair and Mark Clear and some others. And had a really good discussion. The Reverend went out and gave a speech to about 300 city employees to give them some more energy for the fight. And then we had a meeting about how serious this budget proposal was for the city of Madison. Started to work through that. On Saturday, I started the day with a Leopold Reed. It's a great thing at the McKay Center. People from all over Madison come and read a little bit of Oliver Leopold on the anniversary of his completion of Sac County Almanac. It's a great thing to do. Then I went downtown and spoke to about 250 or 300 Metro bus drivers, answering their questions about how this budget impacts them. And it's all about working with them to make sure that they have all the information that we have, so this process is absolutely transparent, and so they understand the implications of this to their lives. Then I went and gave a speech on the Capitol Square, went to the Marquette Chili Neighborhood Association Chili Dinner on Saturday night. That was excellent. Stopped off at a fundraiser for independent living. On Sunday, I marched from our Central Library to the Capitol with librarians, militant librarians. They sort of were. You don't get a chance to see that very often. There are a lot of other meetings. Today I did the groundbreaking at Edgewood for the new Fine Arts Center. I tell you about that because it explains why I love this job and why I want to continue to do it. It gives you an opportunity to get all over the city, to meet people from all walks of life, and to really understand how the city functions and what it needs. And that's the reason I really want to continue to do this. Why should you keep me in this job? I think two reasons. Experience and optimism, a sense of optimism about our future. We have had 8 years, 8 very strong years in this administration. The last 3 under very tough circumstances, 3 of the deepest recession budgets that this community has ever had to deal with. And we've come out of it with flying colors. Haven't had to slash services, we haven't had to dip into our long-term fund balance, our rainy day account. We've maintained our AAA bond rating, and we can manage, we've proven that we can manage through difficult and hard times. And the other thing that I possess is a great optimism about the future of the city of Madison. I believe that despite everything that we're up against, all the challenges we face, that this community is a strong community, and that we will prevail, and that we'll come out of this stronger than we were when we started. Thanks very much.